Oh, good evening, good morning, good afternoon, good wherever time you are in. Welcome to this great show that is geared towards interrogating our leaders who are set to look for political positions in 2022 elections. My name is Bernard, and I'm happy to meet you on this platform where we are hosting different aspirants of different political position so that we can have an opportunity to pose our questions to them and get the required answers. So please let us gang up and make a difference today. Invite somebody to join, subscribe to the channel. Today is a great day. We are privileged to be hosting a member of parliament as an aspirant from Butula constituency. Get set to meet him and be ready to send in your questions. Thank you very much on behalf of Mtembei TV and the rest of the nation of Kenya. This is our turn to see to it that Kenya goes better by us electing right leaders in right positions for us to guide this nation to the next level. God bless you. Please join the show. It's my pleasure to bring in now the MP aspirant, Kenneth ODWEYO. Mheshimiwa, karibu.
I can't get you.
Mheshimiwa Kenneth ODWEYO. God have mercy. You should be able to get me. How is that? Are you okay? Yes, we can hear you. Just go ahead. Now tell us something about yourself. Ladies and gentlemen, we seem to be having a technical hitch, but we are sorting it out. Please be patient with us. And we will have a great show today as we interact with Kenneth ODWEYO, aspiring MP, Butula constituency. This is Mtembei TV. You are welcome. Please, let's join and invite as many people as possible to join. Let's have a discourse that will help chart the way forward for this great country, for the betterment of generations yet unborn. It is our season to see to it that we interrogate each and every leader at all levels. No time to set ourselves up to regret
I
again
can't get the voice.
by voting in people we don't know
Can't hear you.
or people we haven't
I can't hear you.
Interrogated. So please, let's join in. Let's invite as many as possible as we sort out our technical hitch. We'll be back in a short while. My MP, you can't hear what I'm saying. Log out and log back again. Good. Well. We are waiting for the member of parliament aspirant to get back. And in the meantime, you can still start to send in your questions for the MP aspirant Butula constituency, especially those of you that come from Butula and Busia and all that Western Kenya section of this great country. It is time for us to weigh our leaders and be able to ensure that each and every one we put in position of leadership is able to deliver what he is telling us he can deliver. It is our right to question our leaders it is our right to interview them. It's our right to see to it that they are right for the position they are desiring to occupy. So be at liberty. And unfortunately, we cannot bring you into the studio, but we invite your questions in the comments. If you have a question to the young and vibrant, youthful leader, emerging member of parliament for Butula constituency, then be at liberty to send in your question and he will gladly respond. Now, Mheshimiwa, you're back. Are you all right?
Yeah. Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
Good. Welcome to the show. And please tell us who is Kenneth ODWEYO, sorry.
Okay, thank you very much, Bernard, and thank you for this opportunity to be here. I'm sorry for the small network hitch, but I'm glad that by the grace of the Lord, the Lord had planned this day for us, and that's what the Lord has planned. Nobody can sway out of direction. So we appreciate and thank him. I am ODWEYO Kennedy, a guy who has been very enthusiastic and very interested in matters of leadership, political leadership for that matter, with a strong bias towards youth leadership. So at the moment, I'm an aspirant for the Butula constituency parliamentary seat in 2022. And I always, when I come to such platforms, I always encourage the young people. And I always say, at the moment, it's no longer about encouragement. It's about inciting the young people to get into leadership. It's about radicalizing as many young people into leadership so that we can occupy these spaces and bring the change that we always yearn for.
Okay, thank you very much. So tell us about your starting out in life. Where did you go to school? Or how was school?
ODWEYO Kennedy is a village boy, born and raised in a village called Mauko Village. Mauko Village is within Marach East Ward in the Butula constituency. So Kennedy ODWEYO went to Mauko Primary School, a village primary school, which also happens to be my polling station. Went to Butula Boys High School, and then went to the University of Nairobi, where he did a Bachelor of Commerce. After which he has worked in banking and finance, investment management, logistics. He has also worked a bit of project management before he actually, but in between he could be involved with I've been involved with the youth empowerment issues since I was in campus. I was a bit of an activist with entities like Amnesty International. Yeah, before I quit actually all that, the corporate life to focus on leadership. Even before I decided to start contesting, I was deeply involved. I've always been involved in political issues. In 2017, I was a behind the scenes mobilizer. I was very involved in mobilizing young people and enlightening them on their political rights. Because we've already seen situations where young people are used by politicians to serve their interests. So in the process, you find that they don't play meaningful roles in politics. Yeah, so I've been involved, and at the moment I'm also involved with other youth-serving organizations like Activista, where I call myself a political activista. So in those forums, we engage young people and try to encourage them to step up and take up leadership positions, because these positions are never reserved for anyone. Everyone has a right to the throne, but only if they take it. So it's been a journey, both in the corporate and political spaces. And as a village boy, I know what is happening down there. I grew up in those problems, but problems are evolving. So by virtue of that evolution, we also need minds that are evolving with the problems. So we were born in those problems, yes, but they are no longer the same problems.
Okay.
So that's why young people, by virtue of them having grown in those problems, we understand the solutions because we see the world changing. And by virtue of that adaptability and the changing of the world, we are in a better position to craft the solutions.
All right, Mheshimiwa, thank you very much for that elaborate response. And I just want to pick my questions from what you have so far submitted. You began your submission by saying that you are strongly biased towards youthful leadership. Are you in any way discriminating against elderly leaders, and why?
Like I said, and I always say this, I use myself as an example. I was born and raised in that village. There were problems and there were issues. I have grown, I have evolved through the problems. As the problems evolve, I have evolved through those systems. I am not discriminating against the old people. I will get old one day. But the good thing about me is that when I get old, I'll be retired. So there will be no reason for any young person to discriminate. Because you know, leadership is not a matter of going there to die there. You serve and move on. And that's why there's even retirement age in government. You serve and move on. You don't need to fight until you die. So I'm not discriminating. As young people, I always say this, we are not here to compete. You cannot compete with your grandfather, Ben. What your grandfather has done, you can never achieve it in your lifetime. So when we come here, what we are saying is, we are just bringing alternative views. You have done your part and we appreciate. But we also believe, by virtue of our education, by virtue of our experiences, by virtue of the technology that has exposed us so many things, at this point, we are able to also come to the table with these ideas. Because when you send a messenger, you never know the message that is delivered. So what we are saying is, because of our 21st century exposure and our ability to relate with the problems of the 21st century, we are able to create 21st century solutions to the 21st century problems. When you talk of things like youth unemployment, I go to some forums and you ask this wazee, wanajua TikTok? Do they know people make money on TikTok? They don't even know. So those are some of the solutions that we are bringing.
Are you in any way? Are you in any way? What, Mheshimiwa,
Yes, sir.
we are in a digital world. Nobody is ignorant anymore on that aspect. If we quoting from our late Vice President Omalo Kijana, he said the only way for us to see better is because we are. If you are at the expense of elderly leadership, are you not missing the mark?
Come on again.
Kennedy, are you I'm
Can
saying,
you repeat that again? I missed that.
For us to be youth, we must have come from the our existence depends on the people that came before us. Is that true?
It's very true.
So we can't be without them, but they can be without us.
No, we can't say that they can be without us. You see, as a human being, we are both biological and economical. Biologically, we can't be without them. We couldn't have been without them. But economically, we are the ones who provide the labor force that keeps their companies and factories running. We are the ones who vote for them. We are the ones who mobilize. So it's good to look at it from both perspectives. We don't have a problem with the old. But there comes a time when, as a person, you see, the reason why you give birth is for continuity. Continuity is not just for the name ODWEYO to continue surviving. Continuity is, ODWEYO is a leader today. ODWEYO has a duty to mentor the next generation. Mentorship is not just about talking. There comes a time when you as a mentor have to step aside so that those you've mentored can take the mantle. Because when you overstay in that position, then you leave a gap that cannot be filled. And that's why there are issues like mentorship, where you prepare people. When you prepare people, it gets to a point where now you play an advisory role. We appreciate the presence of the old men. We don't want to kill them. But what we want is they have done their part. Let them advise us. Let them open up the spaces so that the young people can also. We were always being told we are the leaders of tomorrow. That tomorrow never came. Now, we as a people believe that today is that tomorrow. In fact, we are late. And because we are late, now we have to, even we are behind schedule. And that's why we are trying to ensure that this time round, we start what we should have done in 2017.
Well, okay. I appreciate your philosophy. Now, let's go back to Butula.
Yes, sir.
Why should Butula consider you? Why should Butula consider you as a member of parliament?
That's a very good question. You know, the first thing that we need to, the people of Butula have a history as far as parliamentary leadership is concerned. Since 1997, there's a way that our votes have always been dictated. And so far, we've not had development, and we can associate it to the leadership that we've had. Now, here comes ODWEYO Kennedy. ODWEYO Kennedy is a boy born and raised in Mauko village. He schooled in Mauko Primary School. He walked that road. He knows what is happening there. By the time he went to Butula Boys is within Butula constituency. During that time, as a boy, he grew up in that environment. By the time I was going to the University of Nairobi, I was already cultured to the issues that were there. I had an understanding. And I'm not saying that my problems are a qualification or my youth is the qualification. No, what I'm saying is that by virtue of having been born there, raised there, grown up there, up to today, I understand the problems that were there in the 1990s, in the 2000s, and I can see a trend of how those problems have been evolving. Now, when you bring that natural culturing that I have, put that to the education that I've learned, put that to the experience I've learned as an employee, put that to the fact that I've been to more than 35 counties in this country and I've seen how things work in different places. Put that to the information that I've gathered as a person and my ability to relate with the 21st century problems from a practical perspective. And you see a member of parliament who is not coming there to tell you that plant maize or plant sugarcane. You see a member of parliament who is coming to tell you first, agriculture is good. But before you even plant, you need to test the soil. After you test the soil, you determine the specific seed. Once you determine the specific seed, you know what to plant. You mechanize. Before you even think of planting, we already have value addition issues in mind. When we talk of value addition, we already have markets. So that these are conclusive ideas that are born out of an understanding of the evolution of the problems of the people. I'm just giving you an example of agriculture. We've never thought of things like value addition. Mtu anatoa mahindi pale anapeleka kwa kisiagi and it ends. Mtu akiona mahindi anaona ugali. You know. But now you are coming, ODWEYO Kennedy is a guy who is telling you can make money out of that one thing that you always thought was food. So this is a guy who is coming with a 21st century mind that can create 21st century solutions to the 21st century problems.
Okay, now that leads me to my next question to you. what are the problems bedeviling the people of Butula, and what makes you their solution?
You see, people will tell you about how people don't have jobs or education, health, those problems. No, there's only one problem in Kenya. People want money in their pockets. The problem is not education. The problem is not health. People want money in their pockets. And for them to get that money, they need to have leadership, because it's the leadership that determines the programs, that determines how resources come to the ground, that determines how the money is utilized on a priority basis. Once people have money, they take care of the other problems. So at the end of the day, the main problem in Butula is that people are broke. People have resources, but they do not have the means, the environment, and the necessary support to enable them convert their resources into money sustainably. Butula is in other terms is called Marach. Marach is the land of intellectuals. Go to any university, go talk to any intellectual, they tell you Marach is the home of intellectuals. Why can those intellectuals come together and turn that intellectualism into value for the people? I'll tell you why. Because we don't have a leadership that can unite the intellectuals in Butula, the business people, yeah, so that we lobby as a group, we come together, mobilize the resources for our people. When you talk of issues like health, yes, we have a problem. But the problem, other than the fact that the first problem I told you, it's money. Because at the end of the day, when people have money, they won't need free things. They can take care of themselves. But even before we get to that sustainable level, we are talking about a situation with dilapidated health facilities. Why? Because we don't have vibrant, aggressive, proactive, and active leaders that can collectively lobby for resources. There is money, a lot of money at the national government, county government, international. There are so many groups, but resources follow leadership. So those are their problems. But they now need someone who is going to bring them the money to solve their problems. When, as they solve that money, you also put in place measures that ensure that these people can be independent and sustain in the long run. When you talk of things like education, yes, we have a problem, but we shouldn't end at building classes. We should go beyond. As an MP, when I talk of 21st century compliance, it's not hate speech. I'm just saying, with the 21st century compliance, when you bring electricity to schools, put their computer laboratory so that our children can learn computer, those small courses, so that even a teacher, a fresh graduate or a teacher who is there can also, if they did not, okay, you are told to learn packages, but we can go a step further and start teaching our children digital entrepreneurship. Nowadays they banned tuition, so we can create that time where even when these kids are at home, or even the college students when they are on holiday, they can be taught such things. So education is about trying to ensure that as we bring these services, we go to the next level where we are able to get optimal value out of our investment. So all these problems from agriculture, we have resources, we have land, but what we don't have are programs that are instituted by the leadership to ensure that we utilize our resources well. We have simple examples. You see, at the end of the day, we don't need to depend on the government. Once we are able to organize ourselves together as a people, then we are able to organize ourselves around nation community building ventures, create alternatives for investment, empowerment of the people, and general development of the constituency.
Now, Mheshimiwa Kennedy, hold on. Okay. Thank you for that. Uh, uh, allow me to ask you. Okay, allow me to ask you. Does one need to be a member of parliament to do all those you have said should be done?
You know, my friend Ben, as a person, there are things that I believe. You know, at the end of the day, we were born and raised in the Nyayo days where tokenism was the order of the day. As a person, I'm doing what I can within my small means.
Hey, are you able to get me?
Hello?
Ladies and gentlemen, is like we having a hitch. Please confirm out there and invite somebody to join the discourse. And if you have a question to our member of parliament aspirant, please put it in the comments down there and we'll be able to pose the question on your behalf. It is important that we interrogate the leaders who wants to lead us so that we will be sure where they are taking us is safe. So it is your right to put your member of parliament to the place of defending himself. Why you should give him your afraid to pose a question to our guest today, who is helping us understand Butula constituents and why he is the solution that is needed at this point in time. So, Kennedy, thank you that you're back. Please respond to my question. Yes.
Thank you very much, Ben. You know, there's something I want Kenyans to understand. You're getting me? Are you able to get me?
What is his name? What is her name here? She says she's your member, wherever. There is Coolant Jennifer. She says she's your constituent. She comes from Butula. We have Captain Tisa watching and following. He's asking how can you talk to us well and we will help you join. You can inbox the information. We have Robert Mukundi voting in Kenya is a waste of and energy. Why should I vote? How do you respond to that, Kennedy? Are you able to get us now?
Yeah, I'm getting you. I don't know if you are getting me well. Are you getting me well?
Mheshimiwa.
Yes, are you getting me?
Oh God. The network is not favorable on your side.
I,
Yes.
I can't get you well.
Uh,
There's a
yes, yes,
question I
go
would like
ahead.
to respond to. I don't know if you are getting me well.
Okay. Yes, but with some difficulties. The network is really slow from your end. But go ahead, articulate what you need to articulate. Sorry. Okay, I am saying your network is quite low, but you can go ahead and respond to the degree you are able to. Is that right? Mm, God. Okay, Mheshimiwa Hichi.
Through which we can
Ladies
operate
and
in a very
gentlemen, we seem
universal
to
way.
have a problem with communication from Butula, but we are sorting it out. Please be patient with us. And more than that, keep inviting guys to join into the conversation.
I think I can
Sorry,
get you now. I can get you now. It's clear.
I can. Yes, yes, I can now get you.
Yeah, it's also now.
You need to rejoin. You need to rejoin. Let's do this for the network to rectify. Just
Yeah. Okay.
having technical hitches with our guest, but we'll have all that sorted out. Put it in the comments there, and then we'll get back to you. Uh, Connect rightly and be able to respond to our questions. Thank you so much for keeping here. Please subscribe. Make sure that you hit time we are going live. Like after this, we'll be having another discussion. You'll be free to participate. And those of you who are asking on how to join, this particular show, you cannot join into the studio, but the show coming after this, Kenya is subscribe, and we should good people make it. Ladies and gentlemen, the very here to your people, the Butula constituency, rightly. So, from the last question, must you seek political office so that you can be a solution to your society?
Ben, why you're making me laugh? You know, I want to tell Kenyans, we are a constitutional democracy. As a constitutional democracy, there is a structured way on how things are supposed to operate. Yes, as a citizen, you have the will and the free will to do whatever you can. But then we have a constitution that says these are the functions that are supposed to be undertaken by these offices on ABCD basis. We go to elections that cost us billions and billions of shillings so that we put people in place who can do certain constitutionally outlined jobs. As a citizen, I can and I'm doing what I can. And that's why I say, even to me, leadership is not about positions. But being in a position of leadership puts you in a position, a privileged position, where you have constitutionally assigned roles, constitutionally assigned resources that then you can use together with the people to deliver the mandate. We pay taxes. Ben, are you aware that out of the money that you earn as a salary, almost 70% goes back to the government? Leave alone the payee. Now, come, you see, they'll take the payee. But then come, do you know that everything you spend, today, fuel is retailing at 120, 129. Are you aware that more than 50% of that money goes to the government? When you buy electricity tokens, do you know that more than 50% goes to the government in terms of levies? So why should you, as a private citizen, pay those taxes and still have the burden of constructing a road in your village? Isn't that unjust? Is that justice?
Mheshimiwa, you don't have to build the road or even pay for it. You can just facilitate it.
How do you see? You know, at the end of the day, development is not about talking. As a person, I talk to people, I empower them. As a person, I connect them with possible resource people that can support them. As a person, I try to enlighten them into exploiting the opportunities. As a person, sometimes I even use my own resources to support meaningful ventures in my constituency. But that one is not enough. And that's why, as a country, we came together and decided, instead of Ben deciding that he's going to make this one, and Ken decides I'm going to do this, why don't we bring our money together? Once we brought our money together, then we distribute it equitably. And that's why we have devolution. So that we don't now put the burden on the hardworking. We don't put the burden of development on the rich. So that people in the village do not feel like this rich guy is the reason why we are poor. Now he has to ensure that we are also rich. No. The rich contribute their portion towards taxation. They pay more. So that once that money is put in one pool, it's now used to uplift the lives of everyone. The reason why that is done is so that you don't look at me and because I'm driving and you are walking, now you feel like I'm the reason why you can't afford that. No, so it's good to put in the minds of Kenyans that yes, we will do what we can. But at the end of the day, our job, even me as a leader, I'm supposed to depend on the government to create an environment where I can become a leader. I'm supposed to wait for the government to create an environment where I can do business. I'm supposed to wait for the government to create an environment where the people in my village can get jobs. So we need to understand, yes, as leaders, we do what we can. But we as citizens cannot have the capacity, the resources, the infrastructure, and the network of the government. And that's why even as a person, there are things you cannot even do. Because that's why the government controls all systems, including the regulations. You know, when a government wants to do something, it has the resources and the infrastructure, and we pay for those things. So it's good for Kenyans to understand that, yes, as leaders, we can do something. But at the end of the day, the reason why we want good leadership is not that people don't have to depend on private citizens to uplift them when there's a government that is supposed to ensure that people are able to take care of themselves.
Okay,
there was someone who
thank
asked
you very
about...
much, Mheshimiwa. Now, hold on now. A follow-up question. You are an aspiring member of parliament. That means you have found fault with our current members of parliament. What is it that is different you want to bring to parliament and to the people of Kenya as a new member of parliament?
You see, as a new member of parliament, yes, I've found fault. And one of the biggest problem that we have in Kenya today, as far as our legislature is concerned, is lack of independence. And this independence is brought about by tribal and political patronage that ties people to individuals as opposed to their oaths of office. So as a person, and my struggle is not just for myself. I even have a movement for young people beyond myself. We are trying to mobilize a group of visionary and focused young people who understand the problems so that we have an independent parliament. Because with an independent parliament, the rest just fall in place. The most powerful arm in any democratic state, in any democratic practicing state, is the legislature. Because it's the legislature that makes all the laws, that approves all the policies, all the decisions of government. All the other arms, parliament tomorrow can render the judiciary functionless in this country. Parliament tomorrow can remove the president. That is the duty of parliament as per the constitution. So the main thing that I'm bringing forward is that independence of reason, independence of thought, people-centeredness, so that now when we go in, we make laws that make the lives of people better. At the moment, we have an expenditure-driven parliament. What am I bringing on board? I'm bringing on board a production-focused parliament, where we go to parliament not to discuss how to spend what we don't even have. We go to parliament to discuss how to make money. Because once we make money, we won't have to worry about the unemployment. We won't have to worry about having to give young people stipends. We won't have to worry about kazi mtaani when there's a pandemic. What we lack in the country today is a parliament and a leadership that focuses on production. We have a parliament that is focused on consumption. And that's why we always have deficits. That's why we're always borrowing. I asked someone, when is the last time your MP went to parliament to discuss something that can bring money into your pockets? Ben, do you remember the last time your MP, do you remember the last time there was a bill in parliament that you can tell me because of this bill there will be 1 million
what
jobs?
is this thing that they are supposed to discuss that will bring money in my pocket?
You see, for example, what is making people broke in Kenya today? It's the difficult business environment that has forced businesses to escape our boundaries. When the president, Uhuru Kenyatta, became president, we had a positive balance of trade of 29 billion with Tanzania. At the moment, our balance of trade with Tanzania is less than 10 billion. And that balance of trade will become negative very soon. Why? Because the first thing you need to know is that there are things that Tanzania was importing from Kenya. What happened? Because of the heavy taxation, those companies moved to Tanzania. So those things are being produced in Tanzania. And that's why I want to give you an example. If the deputy president of the republic can tell his friends to go invest in another country, doesn't that mean that we have a very difficult business environment in the country? There are so many companies that have closed shop. That is the reason why we don't have jobs. And without jobs, there are no businesses. Because there are no businesses, jobs, we can't generate taxes. So how do we deal with that? You discuss how to bring down the cost of doing business. When you go to town in Nairobi today, you find someone with an M-Pesa is being told he needs to have a fire extinguisher, a fire certificate. You see, okay, things happen. But at the end of the day, when you make it that difficult for people to do business, young people were actually they were getting some easy avenue in digital entrepreneurship. Now people are being taxed for digital entrepreneurship. You have not provided any environment. In fact, it's even more difficult for people to be digital entrepreneurship because you've raised the taxes, or even on airtime, bundles are more expensive. You promise laptops, they are not there. So we are supposed to be enforcing policies that ensure that people are able to work, do business, factories are able to be set up, because industrialization is one of the main avenues for development. And there is one of the greatest encouragements of revolution, of economic revolutions. Because when you set up an industry, you are not just creating jobs. There will be wholesalers of those products, there will be retailers, there will be distributors, there will be hawkers. Those are jobs you've created, leave alone the employees. But now we have a government that will tell you that one of our main focuses is industrialization. But look at the laws they are making. How will industrialization be realized in a country where fuel prices always keep rising? I heard, was it yesterday or today? It had been raised by 7 shillings. Now they have reduced by 5 shillings. How will industrialization thrive in a country where electricity charges are over the roof? Because those are the basic elements of production. Once they become unaffordable, then the people can no longer industrialize. So at the end of the day, we need to be discussing how to lower taxes, how to cut down on the levies, how to provide a fair ground for young, especially the young people. You cannot talk of creating a youth fund that is youth specific, and you want the young people in Kibera to bring your title deed for them to get a loan. Are you really serious? Do you even know what you're doing?
Okay, thank you very much, Mheshimiwa. You are giving us your policy-oriented approach towards solving our problems. I want to take you back to Butula. What is the economic viability of Butula, and what are the practical measures have you planned to roll out so that you can harness the economic viability of Butula constituency?
Butula is an economically viable constituency, a healthy constituency with great brains, intellectuals that are very national and global, and very fertile and arable land. Our first raw material is agricultural products. I'm talking about, there used to be sugarcane. There were some issues, but we can still revive the sector. But I don't want to go so much into that. We have several agricultural products that we can start with. But you see, to industrialize Butula, we need to realize our main resources. Our first resource is the professional people in Butula. You see, we have a diversified group of professionals in Butula who, even without external support, are able to direct and lead the economic agenda of Butula. The second thing we have is land that is being very underutilized. So with that land, now we determine how do we optimize its use. As a person, I tell people we need to invest in small to medium level industrialization. When we talk of small to medium level industrialization, we come back to our main raw material, which is agricultural. We talk of, there are three aspects that are mainly focusing on. When you talk of value addition, we talk of things like we have a lot of dairy farming in Butula. Most of the cattle we talk about are the indigenous ones, which are still very, very valuable, but we can upgrade to exotic ones. So instead of hawking milk on the streets or supplying to your neighbors, we can come together as a constituency and we start things like the small creameries. We start dairy. We don't need to start a Brookside. We even start with milk processing and cooling plants. It happened in Muranga under the stewardship of the county government. Resources are always there, nationally, at the county level, and other partners. So when we start these small entities, like that, a dairy, from that, you'll realize that you start a circle for the farmers, a circle will grow into a bank. I want to be the first MP in Butula to bring a bank in Butula. We will create a bank in Butula for the people of Butula. When you talk of things like maize, we have cartels in Butula that usually come during the harvesting time, and they come there to prey on the farmers. They will come there and buy one 2 kg tin of maize at 30 shillings or 50 shillings. Why don't we as Butula come together and we create our own small cereal? Those are things that can happen. We create our own cereal. You see, already we have organized groups. These groups we have our contributions, and then we also have the support of the youth fund, affirmative action. We bring all this money together and we start a cereal, so that at the point of harvesting, we collect this maize. And when we collect this maize, we can even go ahead and start a flour processing plant. This thing will create jobs, will create businesses. These farmers who always knew that there's nothing that can come out of maize except ugali will also be able to sell this maize and get money that they can use to pay school fees. So that as we are doing this, the most important thing is to create self-sustainability. You know, development, the problem is that we are benchmarking with America and Germany. We don't need to go to Germany to benchmark. We need to benchmark in the village. To benchmark, sit down with the people. I sit down with boda guys and they tell me, Mheshimiwa, hii maji si afadhali utuletee maji hapa tufungue car wash. Kwa sababu sisi tunatoka hapa tunaenda kuosha. You see, like now in my village is called Mauko. There's a boda center. They are telling me, badala ya sisi kutoka hapa, we go to wash our bodas at Ogado. Why don't we have piped water here so that we start our own car wash? That car wash will employ our young people, so that water is not just for drinking and for hotels and doing other things. We think in such revolutionized ways. When you bring electricity, it comes with opportunities. But most of these people don't know that these opportunities are there. But once you have now that electricity and water, think beyond the normal usage. So one of the things that is going to change Butula is utilizing our resource, which is land and the agricultural products, and translate that into value addition that is then going to expound the space for employment and business opportunities for our people.
Okay, thank you, Kennedy. You are doing well. Now, on the same aspect, especially matters agriculture. You say there is land and there is farming. Uh, you intend to go into large scale farming, or we are talking about subsistence farming that our mothers are digging behind the house and growing a few things?
You see, on agriculture, there's something I missed to mention. My focus is on tech-driven and tech-inspired agriculture. And that's why I talked about things like value addition. There was land when we were still young, but there still isn't as much land. And that's why for me, I talk about looping in things like topographic farming, so that on your half an acre of land, you can still do your topographic farming. And that's now where technology comes in. Because another thing I also failed to mention is that we have brains in Butula. Those brains just need an environment and policies that can ensure that they actualize that potential. And that's why I was talking of things like putting up technology centers at the ward level. If we cannot find land to buy, we just put it in a school. And in that school, we can only be opening it on weekends. Because now with the protection of the school, we already have, just like we put up national libraries, we include technology so that these people can train. That's how to ease the burden of employment on the government. Other than that, because at the end of the day, when you train these people in things like digital entrepreneurship, we teach them simple things like programming. These are short courses that people can do from home, and will take away the pressure from the government. We also talk of things like promoting talent and sports. The Western region has always been the home of sportsmen. So we just need to ensure that we invest and give it the focus that it requires. You talked about agriculture. Even you don't need 100 acres for you to be a commercial farmer. Nowadays, with a quarter an acre, you can even plant your onions. You can do horticulture, and you'll make more money than someone who is planting sugarcane today in 5 acres under the old beliefs. You know, the non-technology improved type of farming, because it's about diversification. We need to embrace it. You see, I've done research on even things like bamboo, where in 1 acre you invest like 130,000, and after 3 years you make 1 million. You can make, because it's a progressive plant that is harvested progressively. You know, so at the end of the day, you can find that with such diversification, what people lack is the information. As a person, I've engaged entities like Carefree. They have told me once people are in groups, we can even come train them. We'll even train them on value addition. These things can only happen when you have a leader that cares about the people. Because a leader, the duty of a leader is to bring the people with the resources and with the people with ideas. So that when the resources are brought together with ideas.
Oh, sorry. Ladies and gentlemen, we apologize. Our MP will come back shortly as we begin to close the show. I'm waiting for questions to pose to our guest, even as we begin to wind up. I need questions. Thank you, those of you that are joining. Cristiano Ronaldo, thank you so much. We have who? Edwin Somi Nyaribo. Thank you for joining. Wekesa is following. Asante sana, tuendelee. As we wait for our guest to return, I think the network from Butula is not very good, and that's why he needs to assume office fast enough to go and make that work. as he claims to say he needs that office to get constitutional mandate to cause what he wishes to happen in Butula. And in case you're following, you're out there, you are an aspirant as an MCA, as a member of parliament, as a governor, and as a senator, as a women rep, or as a president of the Republic of Kenya, and you love to feature on this show, just inbox your details. We'll get back to you and slot you out a show. We are here to interrogate each and every leader around this nation so that we will make informed decision as we are voting. We can't just vote because we must vote because you are capable of that responsibility you are asking for. The only way for us to know how capable you are is by posing questions to you and see how you respond to them. So if you are an aspirant out there and you want to feature on this show, inbox your details. We'll get back to you and we will slot you a show. Thank you, thank you, thank you. There is my friend Steve who is following the show. Honorable Mtua Ndeto, thank you. Steve Were, we appreciate you so much. We are glad that you are following. Daudi M, asante sana. Miriam Doman, thank you. We appreciate you. Simon Waithaka, asante sana. We have Jaliban Batoto Bamungu. Thank you so much. Sami wa Jane, asante sana. David Malaki, tunakushukuru, asante sana. Thank you for making time to join us for this segment of our broadcast. We are anticipating the return of our guest, and then we'll be winding up the show. Just to notify you, if you are an aspirant out there, you want to feature on this program, please give us your details. And after this, I believe we'll be having the open forum where we discuss Kenyan politics full length. So tegea papo hapo, mambo bado na lazima kitaeleweka. So be on the lookout. Things are getting better, and it's because you are out there watching and participating in what we are airing. And I would love to call upon each one of us to be civil in our comments and participation in our programs, because we're here to see to it that we have a better Kenya, not just anything. Kenya must go forward, and for it to go forward, you must go forward, because you are the Kenyan that we have that constitute into the Kenya we have. So if Kenya is a problem and you are part of that Kenya, you may be part of that problem. And the only way for us to sort out that Kenyan problem is to sort you as a Kenyan. We really want to thank God for you and thank everyone for making time to follow this aspirant program that seeks to interrogate leaders that seek to take our political position in 2022. So kama unataka kuwa MCA, njoo hapa utuambie kwa nini. Kama unataka kuwa mbunge, njoo hapa utuambie kwa nini. Kama unataka kuwa senator, karibu utuambie kwa nini. Ukitaka kuwa governor wa wapi, na tuko hapa kuhoji kila mtu kutoka sehemu yoyote ile nchini Kenya, na sio lazima uje hapa kwa studio ndio to kuhoji. We are doing virtual interview, so you can join this from anywhere you are around the world, and we will be able to do exactly that. I think we will do come to a conclusion of this segment. Unfortunately, our member of parliament has not been able to sort out the technical hitch that threw him out. But I believe we'll do a second part of this so that he can conclude on his submission. Otherwise, thank you very much. Let's do this again another time. My name is Bernard, and this is Mtembei TV. Keep subscribing, keep sharing. Let's stick here. We are coming back with our open forum political discussion. God bless you.